We're gonna go on a nice, relaxing walk through the garden today. It is a lovely, cool morning. Check out these crepe myrtles. They've gotten so tall. I got these from the Harbor Day Foundation like 5-6 years ago. I had no idea what color they would be, so it was a bit of a surprise. I was happy to see that they're pink. I'm trying to create this little tunnel here because I just love tunnels. They're just kind of fun, magical. Hey, Trigo. So things out here are filling out very nicely, except this area here. Don't look over here. These are my roses, and I have a deer that's been massacring them every year. So they look really pretty at first, and then she comes by and eats all their leaves off. So they look pretty sad. I think what I'm gonna do is probably dig them up this fall and put them inside my garden, my veggie garden area. That way they're protected because we've got the chicken run that goes all the way around. I don't ever have any deer out there. These gourds and squash out here, they are just volunteers, and I love this. I'm gonna do this on purpose next year because I like walking down this path to the garden with food growing everywhere. It's just fun. Because right now my little food forest, all my little trees and bushes are still pretty small, so I can use the area beneath them and grow food. My little banana trees here, they're still small. Which is funny because the one I planted last year, where these grew up from, grew fast. I mean, it was taller than me before I knew it. So I don't know why these are growing so slow. I don't know if that's normal. But my fig tree is blown up. It is full of figs. Look at this. Ooh, look at that. Oh, look at that big beetle. What are you? I've been seeing those on my fig tree this year. I don't know what they are. I'm gonna guess that. Kind of weird, huh? Ooh, he's strong. Ooh, I don't like when they have those really strong legs. It kind of freaks me out. But I went ahead and I finally made fig Newtons. I've been saying that for years, and I'm gonna make fig Newtons. I finally did it this year. My daughter Lily helped me, and they turned out so good. They were delicious. So I think I'm gonna make another batch. And I also made some delicious honey fig jam. I think I'd like to make some more of that as well, and then probably some fruit leather. So I need to get out here and have my family help me harvest all these. You see all my brassicas are growing. I keep them covered at night so that I don't have any critters come and, eat their little heads off. We don't want that. Those are all the cabbage capture. Honestly, I went ahead and ordered more of the cabbage capture and planted some. Looks like they're popping up already. Little tiny. I wonder if we're gonna get some rain today. Oh, that feels great, that breeze, y'all. I don't know about you, but I'm ready for fall. It's been a hard spring, winter. Summer came early this year, and I'm kind of over it. So I meant to not have this happen, but it did. The gourd that I have planted over there has gotten onto my grape trellis. Probably gonna have to get up there and kind of rip it down a little. Don't want it taking over. It's also a lot harder to get up there and get pests off of them. These grapes, y'all, they have gone nuts. I don't know what to do with them because all these grapes were supposed to be Vanessa grapes, which is a table grape that are seedless. One of them ended up being that. The rest, I don't know what they are. They kind of remind me of a muscadine. They are good, but they have seeds. I don't personally enjoy eating grapes that have seeds, That's why I specifically wanted to get ones that didn't. So I don't know what to do with these. They do have a great flavor, so I'm not sure if I should look up how to make wine or grape juice. I don't know, but there's so many of them. The birds love them. Yeah, see, this gourd has gone all the way over. It's climbing on this tree now. And we're gonna have to be careful walking through here because there are spider webs all over here. So I try to remind myself to duck under this one. See, there's a vine borer in here. I'm just gonna pull it out real quick. There it is. You're little. You're a little tiny thing. Come here. Oof. As I came through to give that vine bearer to the chickens, I forgot about that spider web. Oh gosh. Let me go wash my hands off. I just checked to make sure the spiders are still there and not in my hair. I don't want spiders in my hair. I'll come back later and close that little hole up that we made. I wanted to show you all this squash that has gone absolutely bonkers. Check this out. So that is all one squash. I see a little lady squash beetle here, and we'll get rid of her. This is just an extra squash plant that I had. I didn't even have a label on it. I wasn't sure what it was. I just found some lady squash beetle larvae. I'm just gonna throw them to the chickens. But yeah, I wasn't sure what it was, and I didn't even have any room for it at the time, so I went ahead and just planted it right here next to this sad, broken down potato bed. And it has grown all the way all over this trellis and is coming all the way over here. I ended up finding out what it is. It's a cinnamon squash. See? Last year, my daughter's rabbit planted a squash for us and it grew, and we actually really loved it. It was a cross between a Long Island cheese and a Tahitian melon. And we loved the flavor. It had that lovely sweetness that the Long Island cheese does, but it has a lot more flesh on it. So I went ahead and collected seeds from it and planted them out this year. So I've got this one here, and then I have this one over here. This one has not gone as crazy as that one back there. What I like about this particular squash is that I find that the pests don't go after it, like the vine borers. Pickle worms, not so much. In fact, I even had a pickle worm get inside one of these. Let me show you. And what happened was kind of interesting. No, there's that spider web again, y'all. Probably should just knock them down. I just feel bad, but geez. This little guy here, that little pickle worm made his hole into this little squash right here. I don't know if y'all can see that. And the squash ended up closing it up, which I thought was kind of cool. So the pickle worm got trapped in there. But sadly, I tried to put this squash on top of the trellis because it's kind of hanging down. What happened was I didn't do it well enough and it ended up falling and it broke off its vine. It is slowly getting its orange color. I keep meaning to bring it in and I forget. Look at these Tabasco peppers. They're just getting started. These things will get massive. I got spiderweb all over me. These two are from ones that I overwintered 2 years ago. Then last year I collected seeds from them. These are also the ones that got covered in ice last year. I left my sprinkler on and my whole garden got covered in ice, which I learned actually protected my plants and kept them going longer. So I did it on purpose a few more times. In fact, I'll probably do that again this year. Oh, what are you? You're a weird bug. I've never seen that one before. Yeah, I've got the cinnamon squash coming this way too. I've got a volunteer gourd growing right here. You know what loves these gourds is those Anastotristis squash bugs. Your classic squash bug that you see. Yeah, they love that one. But I've been staying on top of them, so it hasn't really been much of an issue. But I'm excited for this arch to finally cover up, and I've got some beans I went ahead and planted over here and here. These are those Chinese long beans. I got a pretty purple one and then green one to add some color. So we should get some more beans for fun. And I planted this one, I can't remember what it's called. Like something's crawling on me, but I think it's just my hair tickling me. This one, I can't remember the name of it. I know it's got 2 different names that people use. But I got this one to try it out because it's supposed to be resistant to vine borers. And the squash it grows is very, very long. And it's supposed to taste similar to that of a zucchini. But if you allow it to mature more, it will harden like a winter squash. So I thought I would kind of interested to try it out. I see I got it growing up this one. Then one right there. That one's slower. I don't know why though. Still got tomatoes going, which is generally by this time of year I'm ripping my tomatoes out. And I have ripped out some for sure. Lost quite a bit at the beginning of the year. They just succumbed to sickness so quickly because it got so hot and humid in the springtime. I'm gonna have me one of these. I need to come out and pick these. Wow, those are really good. This is that honeycomb cherry that I collected from seed last year. And it's doing pretty dang good. It's covering this whole top trellis here. It definitely has gotten sick, as you can see all the dead leaves hanging down. We've got another spider here. The beans have worked really well on this particular trellis because they're just easy to pick. So I'm going to do that again. But the downside of the beans, because I went ahead and planted them with my squash, I'll show you, I've got them some mixed in with my climbing squash, is that when I went to go harvest them, I end up, those cherry tomatoes are so good, I'm going to grab a few more. I end up scratching the bejesus out of my arm. I don't know if you can see, but I got scratches all over my arm from harvesting beans. From last week, I canned a bunch, which went well, by the way. I'm getting better at canning things on my wood stove. Looks like I gotta come out here and collect more beans. Yeah, I have them mixed in here, and I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try to keep them separate from the squash, if I can. If you see, even my Long Island cheese got powdery mildew this year. It's just been a tough year with diseases in general. That one had a crack on it. I'll give it to the turkeys. Luckily, it's still growing and we're getting fresh growth on it, and the old stuff's just dying off at this point. The Long Island cheese will just keep on growing till till we get our first frost, which is generally in November. In fact, next year I decided, since this cinnamon squash is doing so well, and you know what, the other thing, y'all, there are almost 8, I think there's about 8 pumpkins growing off this one vine. That's just insane. There's a few more in here, I just can't see them. These leaves are growing so huge. I still have about 20 seeds from the cinnamon squash that I collected last year, and I think I'm just gonna do cinnamon squash next year. As much as I love the Long Island cheese, I love the cinnamon squash even better. These pink eyes do so well too, y'all, just mixing them in with things because they're a semi-climber. In fact, these are dry. Take those in. They companion plant well with things, but since it's a legume, it's also feeding your plant with that nitrogen. And I've got this pepper here. I'm surprised it's actually doing well because it's underneath the squash. My bean teepee is finally got beans at the very, very top. I honestly have not been bothering collecting the beans off this bean tower. Just kind of letting it go. This is one of the tomato plants that's doing great. In fact, I forgot to show you the one back there that I've been collecting a lot of seeds from. I collected seeds from this one as well. It's definitely gotten some sickness, but it's still putting out tomatoes and putting out plenty of fresh growth at the top. But come down here and see this, you guys. Check out the watermelon. It's gotten so big. I'm very excited about this watermelon. I've always had issues with my watermelons exploding. Last year, I finally had one that made it. It was a Georgia rattlesnake. So I went ahead and I collected seeds from it, and I planted them out, and now I finally have a watermelon. When we cut this guy and cut him open, I'm gonna save seeds again from this one. And I think I'm gonna try more melons next year. I'd love to be able to grow some cantaloupe and honeydew melon. I planted this lemon balm here, y'all. I don't know if I'm gonna regret this one day. It's like quadrupled in size. So check this out. My battery just died. I went out and I went over to change it and the top came off. That was just, I've never had that happen before. It's just so weird. I had to do some magic to try to get this thing out of there. You know what I've been real happy with? Is this Emerald Towers basil. It's done so good. It's still going strong, not even showing any signs of bolting. Why are my goats running? What you doing, girls? But I'm gonna be doing a lot more basil next year, this Emerald Towers. I would like to just do a whole cluster of it around each tomato. I love how tall it gets. Let me go check on my goats. See what they're fussing about. What's wrong? Sometimes Morrow, my dog, will get out here. But I don't see her. Hi! What are you guys running about? Oh, don't do that. Pippi likes to jump up on me and I don't like it. So, oh gosh, Morrow, you scared the bejesus out of me. Don't eat my dress. So it was my dog. Sometimes, what do you want? I like to get on top of that thing. So sometimes I will get raccoons during the day. They'll come around and try to get into the turkey area and eat the eggs. Because surprisingly, my turkeys are still laying eggs. Yeah, I've got a bold raccoon family. They are wise to the live traps. They keep setting them off, but not getting caught. You're gonna eat my fingers. Ooh, are too much. They haven't been eating that fermented hay I've been giving them. They must be getting enough browse out here. I do give them their minerals every day. Marl. She likes to lay down in the creek. Come on, you. Let's go. Yeah, thanks. I got some of that in my mouth. Thanks, Marl. These gourds have been going crazy. They have gotten the sickness too, but they're still growing. It's growing this way. There's a big old web right here. Let's go back to the basket because otherwise I'll leave it out here. But this tomato has been my best tomato. It's gotten sick, but it's still growing up at the top. And I've got a bunch of tomatoes here still. Put out a ton of tomatoes, so I saved a bunch of seeds from these ones. Saved seeds from 2 different tomatoes. Just another little lady squash beetle. I like to save my tomato seeds early on in the season, and I like to collect the ones that are the best, the biggest. This paprika plant has gone nuts. Look at how tall it is. I wish it wasn't right next to a bell pepper, otherwise I would collect seeds from this one. This is one that I collected seeds from last year. And what I love to do with paprika is I like to dry it and make my own paprika powder. I just grind it up in my blender because it's so much better, y'all, than store-bought. I mean, you can't even compare the two. This has flavor. It's got heat to it. The store-bought stuff just, in my opinion, doesn't taste like anything. So I like to make my own paprika powder, cayenne powder, and what's the other one? There's one more. I don't know. I just had a brain fart, but this row is done really well. I've been happy with this one. It's gotten real wild, which is what I like. And this tomato keeps going. It's just, I think I probably will save seeds from it. This one is a particular paste. It crossed with an Amish paste. All the bottom leaves have pretty much fallen off, and it's still going though up top. So I've just kind of been weaving it through along. I got my peanuts down low, y'all. They've been really taking off. That's a nice salvia. I ended up planting some tomatoes later on. I got a bunch of them from my local hardware store. They were on sale, so I just planted them out. They're supposed to be some type of beefsteak hybrid that are supposed to be more disease resistant. But if you see, it is getting sick. So we'll see if it will resist that and just keep putting out new growth, or if it just succumbs to the sickness and dies. This bell pepper is doing great. I really struggled with bell peppers. They just never did well for me until I finally had one that did well. I collected seeds from that, and that's what this one is. So I'll probably get more seeds from this one since it's separated. It's also by another bell pepper, so it should be good. This one here, I was gonna tie it up, y'all, but this squash ended up grabbing onto it for me. This is a Long Island cheese here. Just kind of letting it climb along on top. These tomatillos have just gone insane. They're just still going wild. I can see I have a bunch of them on the ground. This is my ghost pepper here. We already got one ghost pepper off of it, and it was good. We cooked it up in some eggs. Has a good flavor. Alright, y'all, my tummy is rumbling. I'm ready for breakfast. Let me get Mara. I think she's over here somewhere. Mara! I don't know where she went. I thought she was just... Because if I lock her in the garden, she's just going to start barking. I'm going to have to come right back out here. Mara! Oh, you know what? I see her. She's out there. What is she getting into? She's eating something. Alright, guys. Y'all take care. I hope that you're doing well. And we'll see you next time. Mara, what you getting into? What you got? Did you get into the trash? I think you did.